when doing pipe penetration through the sidewall of a Kwikset, so what I mean by that is when we are doing plumbing in pods, or for whatever reason, hot water cylinders, or whatever reason you need to drill a hole for a Kwikset, really easy, just standard hole saws, really simple. What I tell plumbers is to normally stay away from the top 100 mils. So that's a 100 mil mark from the top, because that's obviously got an aluminium back rail back there. A little bit harder to drill, though you can drill through it. It will weaken the system and it will be quite hard on the hole saws. Really what you want to do is, if you want to put a 120 mil hole, I would measure from this base up to 60, 65 to 70 mils, and then put your big hole in, or little hole, whatever you choose to do depending on your pipe size. But what's another important note is to finish that job just before the homeowner moves in, is you want to seal around that pipe. So traditionally they used to potentially mortar around a substrate or a soft insulation. The best thing for Kwikset is to use a mastic sealant around there with a built-in UV stabiliser, so that way it will less likely to break down over time in the sunlight, but that will just prevent moisture from getting in there. And though it's not the end of the world if moisture does get in the side, these bases are actually designed with drain holes in them, so if water does get on the inside of Kwikset, it's designed to channel along the upstand and then to find an exit point. But the point is, what we want to try and is minimise that. So by drilling your hole, having your pipe out, then using an MS polymer sealant around that will finish that off. But yeah, typical hole saws, typical building skills will take care of that. So yeah, more than fine to drill through Kwikset for your pipe penetrations. With cutting your base with Kwikset, so say you've got a pipe coming up, so essentially you can cut the base as according to whatever's going on. So for example, you've got a pipe penetration here. The easiest way to do that is use an angle grinder. I mean, you can try other tools, but for us, an angle grinder works fine. So as you can see, you can cut the base like so. Then obviously the pipe penetration will come up, that's taped down to your polythene. Pipe goes in, tickety-boo, it works. Now, for example, if you've got a pile, say you've got a big old hole like so, maybe that's your base and you've got a pile coming up through, looking at that, that's perfectly fine as well, that works. Doesn't really matter where the hole ends up on the base. What's important to note is there's quite a bit of strength still left in here. If the hole was that big, potentially I would look at a peg on the outside of here just to give it a little bit of support. So what I mean by that is, if I sit that there, what I'd be looking at is, can this push out? Is there enough integrity left in that product that won't make the bottom of the product bow out? And what I mean by that is, if we take this one, so obviously we've got a pile coming up here. I don't have much upstand here, so you can picture that there, and the concrete pushing on your product, it's quite weak at that one point. So without a doubt, I would have a Waratah or a peg right here, obviously being careful that you're not going to hit any pipe that may be there or anything like that. So you'll have a peg or something there to stop the pressure of the concrete pushing your product out. So when it's looking like that, you definitely need a traditional brace on the other side. When it gets to something like that, that'll be borderline. You could put a peg there on the outside, or you potentially could leave it, but you wouldn't want to have it any less than that. So if that cut gets closer to that edge, definitely have a peg on the outside. So you need to apply a bit of common sense to it, but essentially you can hack or cut or do whatever you need to do to make the product work on site. But you need to look at it, and if you know that you're weakening the product, then go back to using some traditional braces on the outside until that concrete goes off.